Hi, my name's Heather Lutz. Welcome to Supply Chain Management. I'm one of the instructors of this course, so throughout the semester you will probably see a few of the instructors doing these videos. For each of the lessons, you'll see us try and highlight some of the topics that you will see in that lesson and in your textbook readings to hopefully make it a bit more clear. Some of you are wondering, why are you studying supply chain management? In today's business environment, your understanding of how businesses work will be incomplete without an understanding of supply chain management. It gives you a way to look at businesses as processes, and you'll find that regardless of where you work within the organization, this is going to be a good tool or approach to understanding the functions of the business and how everything works together. Whether or not the company that you're going to work for in the future is making a business or a product or a service, you're going to find that the tools that you learn in this introductory supply chain class are going to help you. And last but not least is that basically supply chains are a key part of most organizations, and that the businesses need to know how to do that correctly so that they can move forward and hopefully be profitable in the future. Most of you are probably still wondering, what is supply chain management? Supply chain management is basically all of the activities involved from the raw materials of a product to that finished product that the customer gets in the store. So any of the activities involved in that are part of a supply chain. Supply chain management is then managing all those activities to hopefully add value to the customer. That we want to make sure every activity that we're doing within the organization adds value to the customer, because otherwise we're spending money that isn't necessarily needed to be spent for that customer, and we're wasting money. Throughout class, you're going to see us refer to this SCORE model. The SCORE model was designed by the Supply Chain Operations Council, and that basically it is a way to organize your thoughts around the supply chain. You're going to see that there are different functions of the SCORE model. That's plan, source, make, deliver, and return. Our class is going to cover each of these different aspects of the SCORE model, and you'll actually see our class is designed around the SCORE model. So usually what we're going to do is focus on a company. So with the graphic that you have, you're going to see in the center is your company. Each of those different functions of plan, source, make, deliver, and return are used by every company within the supply chain. Each company needs to do each of those different functions. So we're going to give you a broad overview of what's involved in each of those functions within class so that you can see how the companies operate around this SCORE model and how to use it to successfully have the companies work to be profitable. What I've tried to do here is give you a broader idea of what's involved in that plan, source, make, and deliver. That a lot of these will tie to the topics that you'll see we're covering in class. If you think of a simplified supply chain, which is what I have in those boxes, blue boxes on the top of the screen, you'll see it says supplier with an arrow pointing to the manufacturer, to the distribution, then an intermediary, and a customer. That is a very simplified representation of a supply chain. That in this case, your company is probably the manufacturer, how we talk about it. So you need to get parts from your supplier. In order to do that, you'll see what's involved in terms of company functions include procurement, inbound transportation, order entry, and engineering of those products. Most of that falls underneath the source aspect of the SCORE model. In manufacturing, so if you're a company that's making a product or a service, you're doing such activities as managing your inventory, planning what products you're going to be making, scheduling exactly when you're going to be making them, managing all of that, looking at your processes to make sure they're effective, increasing the quality of your products, and you also need to forecast, so that ties into that marketing area in terms of what are we making, when do we need it. So most of that you'll see is in the make and plan aspects of the SCORE model. Deliver in the SCORE model is going to include the next two parts of our supply chain of distribution and intermediaries. So basically we're looking at things such as warehousing, transportation, getting the products out towards the customer. Finally, once we're out at the customer, there's still things that the business needs to be involved at. Just because the customer has it, we're not done with the product yet. That oftentimes we have warranties with our products. Certain products, we need to accept them back for recycling. There's also reverse logistics. So a lot of times when you order a product, you get that little sticker for a return. So it's easy for you. We're in charge of that in supply chain as well as customer service. So that is all part of the return aspect of the SCORE model. So you can see supply chain hits a lot of different aspects of the organization. So finally, how does supply chain link to other majors? You've heard me reference some of this already. But the key aspect of any business is supply chain, that we're the ones who make those products that we need, but we can't do that as a silo alone. So you'll see some of the activities listed here, how it ties with the different areas. So I'm just gonna pick on some majors here. But if you are in the marketing area, you're probably still sitting here saying, okay, they're making these products, why is that important to me? Well, if you have this product you're going to run a big promotion on, you need to make sure that those operations people know what you're planning to do so that they can have the product available when you need it, that they have capacity to build it. So marketing ties in terms of helping generate the forecast, which processes we may be using, what products we're going to be purchasing, and the transportation involved. That marketing is going to have a lot of influence on the operations. In terms of finance, again, we're looking at it big picture, that they're going to help in terms of some of our forecasting, that what if we need to go and buy a new plant or build a new plant? What if we need to purchase a piece of equipment? That the finance is going to be involved in those activities in terms of helping us decide which makes sense long-term for our organization. HR is often involved because we need to make sure as we are making these changes that we have the right people in place to do that. So when we talk about capacity planning, we may want to expand the hours that our production line is running. We can't do that without having HR involved to make sure that we have the right people there when we need it. Accounting, again, is going to help us in terms of paying those bills that we have with the forecast, working with those suppliers that we get the best pricing for our products. And IT is a key part of all of the supply chain that we need to have the tools available to help us do what we do as efficiently as possible.